development to order, please. Is Jody's here, okay. Jody? That's all right, honey. Talk about your resolution.
Yes.
Everyone has Jody's report. She has a resolution to discuss.
So I'm asking for the resolution of approval for up to $10.5 million. It's a tax-exempt bond financing project for Adirondack Medical Center in Lake Placid. They will be constructing a new 41,000 square foot facility on the U-Line campus across from the Olympic Training Center. It's in conjunction with a large expansion project they're also doing in Saranac Lake and Franklin County at the hospital. Our portion of it is $15 million, of which $10.5 will be financed through bonds. The Franklin County portion is about $15 million to be financed through bonds through Franklin County. It retains 50 employees with an annual payroll of about $4.2 million. They've projected to create 6 full-time positions as a result of this expansion, and their annual payroll will be about $5.2 million.
Okay, moved by Mr. Tyler, seconded by Mr. Morrow. Discussion? I have a question.
Sure.
Do we have bond lending limits? I'm just curious.
No, not tax exempt, no. We have bond lending limits for manufacturing projects. The state allocates so much money per year for bonding for manufacturing projects, which our bonding limit typically is low. It's usually about $1.5 million. And if we do exceed that, then we ask for additional bond allocation from other parts of the state who aren't using theirs.
Okay. So this is a new facility they're building at the Eli Mercy Center behind the Lake Placid Hospital as it exists now. The emergency room that's in Lake Placid is in the Lake Placid Hospital now. The plan is to build a new emergency facility, new emergency room and sports medicine center next door. And at such point that Adirondack Medical abandons the existing hospital now, that property reverts back to the town of North Elba.
Correct.
As you see it,
Yep.
That's how I see it. So,
That's our understanding.
does anyone have any other questions regarding this particular project?
What's the cost of issuing these bonds?
On this project, I couldn't even give you an estimate because there's so many parties involved in it. Because we have Essex County, Franklin County, we each have our own bond counsel, we each have our own attorney. There's a trustee, and then they're financing all the bonds through U.S. Bank. $500,000 probably. Yeah. Their costs are usually
built
into the finance. That's right.
Financing, so
Yeah.
it's not a cost to us.
No, yeah, we don't have, yeah, there's no expense to us, if that was the question.
That's where I thought you were headed.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All in favor of the resolution? Thank you. Anyone have any other questions for Jody? Next year.
Thanks.
Mike? Community Resources?
Morning. We do have a referral that wasn't on the agenda. We got it after the report was already sent, so I apologize for that. We have an application for a minor subdivision made by the town of North Elba on behalf of the Adirondack Medical Center. The proposal includes new access from Old Military Road. Highway permit will have to be obtained from Essex County Public Works.
I have a mover of it, Mr. Tyler. Second, Mr. Morrow. Comments or questions regarding the referral? All in favor? Thank you.
Okay. CFAs were due July 29th. We ended up with 20 applications. with 23 projects. The amount of the applications totaled $9,717,000, and project cost of over $20 million. Typically, we will hear in December what applications were approved and what were not.
Okay, any questions regarding CFA projects, gentlemen?
I did include a list for everybody of what we submitted, and
They're shown in Mike's report. You all right?
I can't stop coughing. I'll be okay. Thanks, Rob. Bridge New York projects are due September 9th. Projects that qualify are either bridges or culverts. I need to know pretty soon what projects you have in your towns. It's a kind of a unique opportunity that we haven't. I'll stop there.
Need some water? Long weekend?
Put me down, right? Here,
Patty, leave.
The Bridge New York projects are due on September 9th. Projects that qualify are either bridges or culverts, and he needs to know as soon as possible if you have any projects that you may want considered. New York State DOT will provide up to 95% of the project cost for a total not to exceed $5 million. Applicants can submit up to 2 applications for a bridge and 5 applications for culverts, and he's included the RFP for your review.
Thank you. That's all.
As far as the Bureau is concerned,
Forget about
monitoring those programs. Anybody has any other questions for Mike? You can ask Dan or myself.
It's actually not a question, but I just want to thank Mike and his office for the work they've done, especially for a new supervisor, guiding me through the process, and he's probably sick of me calling with the questions and everything, but they do a phenomenal job in bringing money to our communities, and I know a lot of times they're overwhelmed, but they still put on a smile and do the job, and for the town of Lewis, I want to thank you.
You're welcome.
Mike's very cooperative. Appreciate your work. Thank you. Any other questions for Mike? Thanks, Mike.
And Mike, I want to talk to you about a conversation I had with Vanessa.
Aurora has been excused. You have a copy of her report. Cooperative Extension, Anita is here.
It was my fault, many apologies. So, fair, that's what we're doing. We're getting ready for fair, this week, Wednesday. Everybody wants to come, we'd love to see you. That's the big thing. We continue our search for figuring out how to replace our finance manager, and then I'll be leaving in December, so the board of directors is looking at that as well. Yay! And then the big thing is that the Cuisine Trail has submitted for 6 trails, actually. We're calling it the Adirondack Cuisine Trail Association. And Essex County will have, and I think we sent those out before, we've got one for the Champlain Valley and then one for the High Peaks region. And then Clinton and Franklin counties wanted to come on, join in with us, so they're going to be doing that as well. And I guess the rest of the report is just classes that we've held and classes that we're going to hold. So that's pretty easy, unless you got questions.
Questions for Anita? Anyone? Yes,
I just want to let you know, Anita, that we have an ongoing issue outside the fairgrounds there with a building that's deteriorating, and they're decided to tear that down this week. So just to let you know.
Our building?
That'll be next year.
Turned off.
No, I just want to let you be aware of that, so,
Which building is it on?
right across the street from the entrance of the
Oh,
fair.
across the street, okay.
That old house. Oh, okay. Have a little cupcake.
Charles, same old, though. The shrubbery needs to be cut in front of that sign so you have free advertisement for the fair. Okay?
That sign is actually falling down. It was not put in with any concrete. It's actually dangerous to be over there. The sign is not extension sign, it's the fair sign. And the master gardeners did go out and weed it one day because they were exactly like you, very upset about it. And, they said it looked kind of cruddy. But I will tell you that sign, you can flop it back and forth a couple feet. It's not in good shape at all.
Sean, are you the chairman of the fairground committee?
Task force, but I'm also on the fair board. The Agricultural Society will fix the sign.
Okay, thank you.
We have just ordered a new sign, actually, for the front part where we are, and it has the fair included on it, but it's not like a welcome to the fair sign.
Well, you should have a welcome to the fair. So.
That would be...
Any other questions for Anita? No, thank you very much, Anita. Jim McKenna?
Thank you. Morning. Does anybody know what that red vehicle is across the street? See, Randy's the last very restaurant, but I have some guests today. I'm really excited about what we're going to really talk about today. And it really developed out of working with some of the Westport town members and the Westport Chamber a few years ago about talking about extending the seasons beyond the traditional, Labor Day end to a lot of it. And also talking about using the fairgrounds and also about more exposure for the Lake Champlain region. So we're really excited about what we have going, and it's sort of a partnership with a lot of different groups. We are going to use the fairgrounds, and it's certainly CATS is involved. We've got the Adirondack Farmers Coalition and Hub on the Hill, Cornell Cooperative Extension, certainly some members of the town of Westport and the Fairgrounds Committee all involved, but we think we've got something that we're going to start off this year that we're going to turn into an annual event at the fairgrounds, and it's going to be called Adirondack Harvest Fest. And I'd like to invite two people up to join me, Chris Marin from CATS, Champlain Area Trails, and Jordan Weekend from both Hub on the Hill and representing the Adirondack Farm Coalition. And we're going to sort of run through some of the programs. You can see the poster, the schedules on the back, but before they start explaining what their programs are, I'd just like to recognize the two people that have been driving this campaign, and they're back here. They really didn't want to speak, but that's Nancy Page and Heidi Sweet. So thank you very much for doing this, really. So Chris, you want to go first?
Thank you, Jim. My name is Chris Marin. I'm the Executive Director for Champlain Area Trails, also known as CATS. And I'm really thankful for Jim for actually coming a couple years ago and wondering how we can help make things even better in the Champlain Valley. And he knew about Champlain Area Trails and our effort to make trails and encourage more hamlet-to-hamlet hiking, and also the really growing farm community in our area, and also with the fairgrounds to see how we could draw all that together and make an outstanding event, which, as he noted, will hopefully be a year-to-year event. Now, Champlain Area Trails is going to be a part of this Harvest Fest, and along with the resurgence of agriculture, we're really pushing to have even more outdoor recreation. And so as part of the Harvest Fest, that there will be two hikes. One hike will be on Friday afternoon or evening called the Harvest Moon Hike, and it will start at one of the new farms, Daisy Meadow Farm, and go on the Daisy Meadow Trail and end up over on Ledge Hill Road and walk back to the Essex County Fairgrounds. That's Friday evening. Then on Saturday, we will have a hamlet-to-hamlet hike. We're actually calling it the Ferry to the Fairgrounds hike because we'll start at the start in Essex at the ferry parking lot and walk over to Westport and the Essex County Fairgrounds. Now, as just a little bit of background about Champlain Area Trails, is that we formed in 2008. People started getting together a little bit before that, but we formally became an organization in 2008. And our purpose is to increase the number of hiking trails and skiing trails, snowshoe trails in the Champlain Valley. It's sort of expanded now. People said, well, how about horse trails and how about bike trails? So, of course, we're looking to see what kind of ways we can increase outdoor recreation in the Champlain Valley. Now, why it's so important in the Champlain Valley is that the Champlain Valley was the last part that was added to the Adirondack Park. And so it has very little public land, and because of that, very few opportunities where there's public access to get outside and to hike on trails. And so people came together and formed Champlain Area Trails in, like I said, 2008. And our purpose is to create a network of hiking, skiing, cross-country, snowshoeing trails in the Champlain Valley to link communities, to connect people with nature, and to promote economic vitality. Since then, we've created about 40 miles of new trails. We have the trail map that was passed out to you that shows the trails we've created and the existing trails that have already been there. And so again, our long-term goal is to make it so the Champlain Valley has trails so people come to the Champlain Valley and they hike from town to town, and that will be a wonderful thing for our towns and our local businesses. About 2013, at one of our board meetings, somebody said, hey, we're talking about having people hike from town to town, and yet we've got trails, why don't we do something to put that in place? And so we put together a hamlet-to-hamlet hike from Wadhams to Essex. And the following year, then about 65 people came out on that. And then the last 3 years, we've had additional hikes going from Westport over to Essex that as many as 250 people have come out on. And that's partnered with the Essex Inn, where we have a party afterwards, a celebration and food and so forth. So anyway, that was all one of the things that inspired Jim and others to say, hey, with this Harvest Fest, let's have a hamlet-to-hamlet hike and have that be a part of it to promote farming and also outdoor recreation. And I might say that there was a little bit of grumbling because most of our hamlet-to-hamlet hikes have gone from Westport to Essex, and people in Westport are going, hey, how about Westport? And so anyway, so we're happy this time that we're starting in Essex and ending up over in Westport. Now, as you look into the future, we really want to have hikes go from Elizabethtown to Westport, Westport to Elizabethtown, Crown Point up to Mariah, Crown Point down to Ticonderoga. Well, so anyway, this partnership, which is going to have the 2 hikes as part of the Harvest Fest, is one step in making that whole process happen. So again, thank you for your support and knowledge of this, and you've also got our annual report there so you can know more about us. And if you have any questions, certainly give me a call. And again, I'd like to thank all those involved, and again, all those people who have supported Champlain Area Trails and all the great things we're trying to make the Champlain Valley even better. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
Hello, I'm Jory Weekend, and I am involved with the Hub on the Hill down here in Essex. It's a new sort of food hub that we've put together to help support and promote and just engage the farming activity in our region with the new young farmers and food producers in the area. We are also recently formed the Adirondack Farmer Coalition, which is, we're now a part of a national network. And with that, we hope just to build what's happening around here, have a voice, have a space for these area farmers to meet, to talk about the issues, and when things come along, to help support this. So we are excited about this event in Essex, or in Westport, the Adirondack Festival, and with the Hub and the Coalition, we are helping to organize, helping to gather the farmers and the schedule to build out that event, to make it a strong showing. We're also curious to see how we could help further the upcoming fair and how that could be also a part of what we all do. Anyways, I think our event, I think you guys may have a schedule about the festival, but on the back, it's just, we're excited to bring sort of a farmer's market to the area. We'll have demonstrations and a few keynote speakers and just a gathering, of a celebration of what we're all a part of, and to see where that goes. And we're excited that it's bringing together multiple organizations to help work through this. And other than that, we're excited to be a part of this, and thank you for your help.
Is there any questions, gentlemen? Jimmy?
Just a couple more.
I just wanted to say that I can't express how good it is to get all these groups working together, the farms, the cats and roost, and the fairgrounds with the county involvement. I think we've got something that we can really build on. And certainly I'd like to thank Mike, too, and his office for helping us put this together. And also, DPW, I think Jim's here, yep. And, we'll probably have to talk to the Sheriff's Department as well. We haven't contacted them officially yet, but we're going to have a lot going on. If you can look at this posters, there's going to be local breweries. Papa Duke's going to be there on Friday night, and we're going to have a big pig roast on Saturday night. So please come. We think it's going to be good. And we're also going to do a little marketing initiative alongside with this. What we're going to try to concentrate on primarily is a lot of people in Vermont, and try to encourage them to take the ferry over into Essex. And then we're also going to be working with Nancy Dugal, and if hopefully that can work out, where we're going to bus people to the fairgrounds and back. So we're trying to create an event here. We'll also be targeting Saratoga County and Albany area to try to get this off the ground. What we don't want to do is build expectations too high the first year. Our plan is to keep this going annually and really grow it into something that we'll be proud of and it will stick out in the Northeast, we hope. So I thank all you guys for really putting this together, and I think it's going to be good. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Jimmy. Any other questions for Jim?
I'd just like to say that we're targeting it for residents and non-farm people to be the attendees, which is a big change from when we first started this project, because originally it was in for new farms, but now we switched that over to a little bit, we changed it.
I think it's going to be a way for us to concentrate on the assets that we've got along the lake, with the trails, and with our farms. So I think it's going to be a good thing.
Thank you, Anita. Mr. Farabee?
Jim, I have just a question on Ironman.
Yep.
You can help me out there. Maybe do Ironman, rugby, and lacrosse. Just the impact of what the amount of people that showed up and...
first of all, rugby is a Saranac Lake event in Franklin County. We just serve as overflow. But if you look at lacrosse and Ironman together, we're probably dealing with total attendance for both over the 1 week period, probably in the neighborhood of 30 to 40,000 people in that area over that 2 week period. Rugby, if we add that in, we're probably looking at another 5,000 or 6,000 people. So it's pretty significant impact. And we have, since our last meeting here, we have completed a contract for Ironman through 2021 for their major event, which is the July event. And we've also have a contract now with them to do a 70.3 the weekend after Labor Day, which is traditionally slow. And again, that's part of the concentration, is to fill in the downtimes as much as possible. So
That's for the next 5 years.
that's for the next 5 years as well.
I think, Jim, it's important to put out a release, letting especially the towns that are involved with Ironman, the impact that we do see, revenue and things like that.
We will put that together.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Any other questions for Jim?
Thank you.
Anything else to come before this committee? If not, we're adjourned. Thank you.